Have you ever woken up at 3 a.m. hearing a strange noise? A knock, a whisper, a distant creak, and somehow, deep down, you felt this wasn't just the house settling. Padre Pio warned that certain sounds in the night aren't random, they're spiritual signals. They don't come from your walls. They don't come from the wind. They come from the unseen. When your soul is being touched either by divine presence or dark forces, the spiritual world often announces itself through small, eerie sounds. Not to scare you, but to warn you. The spiritual realm doesn't always enter with visions or voices. Sometimes, it simply echoes softly in the silence of the night. Many people ignore it. They dismiss it as imagination. But the ones who listen understand. You don't hear by accident. Padre Pio would say, when heaven or hell approaches, even the air begins to tremble. That noise you heard? It may be a gentle knock from something trying to cross into your world, testing your spiritual defenses. And if you're hearing it, your soul has already been touched. The question is, will you act or allow it to stay? We often think of our homes as safe, sealed spaces. But spiritually, walls don't block everything. Padre Pio warned that the supernatural world moves freely, and sometimes it breaks through in ways you can't see but can feel or hear. Those late-night creaks, the knocks with no source, the soft whispers when no one is awake. They may not be coming from the house itself, but from entities watching from beyond the veil. Spiritual attacks rarely begin with dramatic possessions or clear visions. They often start with subtle disturbances, tiny cracks in your peace. Padre Pio called them whispers of the battle, signals that forces are testing your spiritual armor. And make no mistake, once these disturbances enter your space, they look for vulnerabilities, emotional instability, financial anxiety, marital conflicts, health weaknesses. It starts with a sound, then it grows, until what was once just a noise becomes a full-blown storm inside your life. That's why ignoring the first sign is dangerous, because the spiritual world always escalates what you tolerate. If you hear that knock, that unexplained sound, don't explain it away. Recognize it for what it is, a spiritual invitation you never sent but can still refuse. Padre Pio spoke often about the hours when the veil thins, and one of the most dangerous windows is between 3:00 and 4:00 a.m., what many call the devil's hour. During this time, spiritual activity intensifies. The world sleeps. Human defenses are low, and the enemy looks for open doors. That's when you wake up hearing a single knock, a distant whisper, sudden creaking floors, the feeling of being watched. Padre Pio called these moments spiritual invitations test to see if your home, your mind, or your soul are vulnerable. At 3 a.m., many report waking up with anxiety, cold sweats, or hearing unexplainable sounds. Not because the body is disturbed, but because something is trying to enter your spiritual atmosphere. It doesn't mean you're possessed, but it means you're being targeted, observed, tested. Financial struggles, sudden sickness, marital arguments, loss after loss. Often these attacks are already forming while you're asleep, announced by small sounds that carry massive consequences. Padre Pio warned, demons don't break doors open, they knock softly first. And if you hear that knock between 3 and 4 a.m., it's not just a sound, it's a call to spiritual war. The sound isn't random. It's a spiritual knock, and if you ignore it, it won't stay harmless. Padre Pio taught that spiritual disturbances often precede visible destruction. What begins as strange noises at night may soon unfold as unexpected financial loss, sudden job instability, business collapse, family conflicts, unexplained illnesses. The enemy never attacks without first probing for weakness. These sounds are often the final alert before your finances, health, or relationships start unraveling. Many who ignored these signals found themselves trapped in cycles of missed opportunities, constant debt, legal troubles, emotional breakdowns. Because behind the sound is a spirit seeking legal ground to operate in your life. Padre Pio would say, "The devil tests the edges before he enters the heart." Financial struggles aren't always just bad decisions. Sometimes they're symptoms of spiritual infiltration that was quietly announced long before you realized. That knock at 3 a.m., that creaking you feel in your bones, it's not the house settling, it's a warning. And warnings, unheeded, become consequences you can't control. There are countless stories of people who heard the knock but laughed it off. A man in Texas heard tapping at his bedroom window every night around 3:15 a.m. At first, he thought it was the wind. Then his business deals collapsed. Debt swallowed his savings. His marriage unraveled fast. A woman in Florida heard whispers near her closet late at night. Her health suddenly declined. Doctors couldn't explain why. She lost her job, friendships collapsed, and deep depression followed. Only after spiritual intervention did they realize the sound was never random, it was a warning. Padre Pio taught that God always allows a sign before judgment comes. Those who ignore the sign enter battles unprepared. You may think, it's just the house creaking, maybe it's my imagination. But as these stories show, the enemy moves quietly at first until you're so overwhelmed that escape feels impossible. Padre Pio warned, Satan prefers the soul that sleeps through his knock. If you're hearing strange sounds at night, it may not be your house calling, it may be your soul being targeted. Padre Pio never told people to live in fear, but he warned them to never ignore spiritual intrusions. When the knocks come, when the whispers creep into your nights, you must act quickly. Here's the simple ritual inspired by Padre Pio to seal your home and stop the spiritual invasion. Holy water. Sprinkle holy water at every door and window. As you do, say, "In the name of Jesus Christ, no darkness may enter this home." Blessed salt. Place small amounts of blessed salt at entry points. Salt is a purifier, it absorbs spiritual contamination. Anointed candle. Light a blessed candle at midnight. Declare aloud, "Let this flame burn away all shadows that seek to dwell here." Psalm 91. Read Psalm 91 aloud with authority. It is a spiritual shield against demonic assignments. Final declaration. Walk through your home and say, "This house belongs to God. No evil has permission to remain." Padre Pio believed that the home must become an altar, not a playground for unseen spirits. Don't wait for more signs. Take back authority now before the knock grows louder. The sound was never just noise. It was a spiritual alarm, a knock on the door of your soul. You've heard it. You've felt the chill in your chest. You've sensed that something unseen is reaching toward you. Padre Pio often said, "The devil warns before he devours." What you do next will determine if this was simply a passing attack or the beginning of something far more dangerous. You are not helpless. You don't need special gifts or secret knowledge. You need only faith with action. Purify your home. Protect your nights with prayer. Seal your doors spiritually. Remove anything in your life that gives the enemy access. Every knock you ignore gives permission. Every step you take in faith pushes back the darkness. This message found you for a reason. Maybe you needed this wake-up call before the storm fully arrived. If this message stirred your heart, leave a comment below and say, "My house is sealed in light." Share this video with someone you love who may be under silent attack. And don't forget to like so this message can reach others who need urgent protection. Tonight is not the night to stay passive. Seal your home, guard your soul, break the assignment.